Do you know why those conversations were taking place? Because Mike found Jesus, not because he found a small group. And it happened because there were some people that were passionate about Jesus. I am not trying to dodge the small group conversation. That's where we're going to go in the end on this one. What I do want us to consider is the importance of a man named Jesus and people like you who are so passionate about Jesus that you want to see a movement take place, not just manage a ministry. There is a great difference between managing a ministry and leading a movement. And I'm afraid in my 15 years of working with church leaders, I find many who want to grow a ministry but are seldom focused and excited enough to lead a movement. I'm going to ask you to do a little personal evaluation if you don't mind. I'm going to kind of give you what it looks like to manage a ministry, then what it looks like to lead a movement. I'd like for you to consider this and just evaluate yourself. Those who manage a ministry must be told by the senior leadership what their goals should be. Those who lead a movement set goals so extraordinary even the senior leadership can't imagine them becoming a reality. Those who manage a ministry often ask, will my accomplishments enhance my career? What's in it for me? Those who lead a movement are so driven by the dream that making a name for themselves or getting a bigger salary isn't even on their radar screen. Some years ago, I was speaking with a friend, and he was talking about getting to his first location in ministry. And he spoke to one of his seminary profs, and he said, I got two options. I've been contacted by a little church right in the middle of urban America, and I've been contacted by a church in the burbs where I can make a huge salary. That little church can hardly pay me anything. And that prof said these words to him, God's everywhere, go where the money is. If there was ever a person who had no clue what it meant to lead a movement, it was that seminary professor. If we think that the goal is to help us move forward in our career, we will never lead a movement. Those who manage a ministry live to make the elders or the deacons happy. Those who lead a movement live to see an unrealized and seemingly unrealistic vision become a present reality. Those who manage a ministry house a heart that struggles to find meaning and purpose. Listen closely. But those who lead a movement house a heart that is alive with anticipation and expectation. You'd be amazed at the number of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who have heard this talk and have come to me afterwards and said, I'm not only embarrassed, I am hurt. You aimed right where my heart is. In fact, Rick, and I've heard this phrase many times when consulting church leaders and having consultations with church leaders. Rick, I'll tell you something. If I had the ability to do anything else, I would leave the church and never come back. And on a couple of occasions when I realized I knew them well enough that I could be honest with them, my response was, sir, you were courageous enough to get in ministry, be courageous enough to get out of ministry. Because your church is going to struggle as long as you are the leader in that church. Folks, we want to lead a movement, not manage a ministry.